Stream should be live. Move this microphone over here a little bit. All right, guys, August 15th, Power Hour review. Live on YouTube right now. If something is wrong there, feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and start off by, first of all, tell everybody that it's Power Hour. Get online. Did you guys take anything? Anything we want to review first off? A bunch of you guys took ON, so let's go through ON. Someone want to type out the play in chat, and we'll look at how it's doing today and what to expect over the next few sessions. Alex, I know you took it. Dustin, I know you took it. Post your setups. I just want to review what you're currently sitting at, what to expect. I think we're all targeting that 1.618 fib extension off of the $68.75 breakout. We were targeting a sub $70 pullback today for a potential entry, and I think you guys nailed it somewhere near the low of day today. Low of day today was $69.94, but I think you guys both got filled slightly above that at around 70. Okay, Dustin, feel free. Alex grabbed, I know for sure Alex grabbed a, let me pull up the chain. If I see it, I'll know it. Alex grabbed in October 85 for $1.50. So really quick, just looking at this on the options chain, 2,810 open interest on this contract with a 0.22 delta. It was right in the middle between an 80 or an 85. Difference in delta is about 0.1. So 0.32 delta on the 80, 0.22 delta on the 85. But you got 67 days till expiration and you're around 80 or a 51 IV. So he opted for the cheaper play. There was an opportunity to grab these ON 85s at around 135. But I believe that he waited slightly to see the contracts and price come back up off of the lows. Didn't want to buy the exact low because it's very hard to time that. He got filled at 150. You got filled at 155. Same contract, $85 call for October. If so, that's awesome. You guys are both sitting in some profit right now. Currently trading at 170, 75 on the ask. So slight up here, ON into an all-time high. Haven't looked at the rest of the semiconductor space today. Semiconductor is actually up 0.48. Look at that. I thought they'd be down today. Let's go over to Koifin really quick. Awesome grab. I don't know if it's just you two that grabbed it. I think other people grabbed it and they're just not saying anything right now. But as of right now, on the daily, Cadence Design up 2.23, MPWR up 1.61, NVIDIA up 1.44. We know all of these names. TSM up, CLAC up, QCOM up, Intel up. Great day, great day. ON up, all of these are up, so awesome. It's nice to see SMH up. I actually expected it to be slight red today. I haven't looked at any of the industry stuff after this morning, so impressive to see semiconductors rally back, and as a matter of fact, semis just hit a 50-day high here. And I'm going to go ahead and post this chart in Discord because guess what? This level matters. Look at what level we're crossing here in the semiconductor industry. Not bad getting over those May, late May, early Junes. Those June highs, look at that. Beautiful. Congratulations. RSI held above the 50 on the breakdown. On that NVIDIA news on the 9th, this is a fantastic opportunity. You guys are in it for 60 days with an $85 strike ON. And we have a 1.618 fib at 83.44. Sweet. Cool. Proud of you guys. Did anybody enter anything else today that they want to go over? I think ON was the only one that I saw in chat that I know for sure people were looking to grab. That was the name of the day. Apple pressing up into high of days. We're now at 0.61. Just want to point out, we've talked about this every single time, every day, but Apple's now only down 5.3% from its all-time high. That blows my mind. There's a time and place to be bearish for sure, but when the strongest stock in the market has essentially gone only up 35% in 60 days, I don't think you're on the right side of the trend anymore, Mr. Bear. 5.3% away, or down from its all-time highs, 5.69, 5.7 towards an all-time high. Our original trade idea, by the way, I know nobody held, and it's totally okay that nobody held, but that original trade idea on those apples that we bought on the pullback at 151 would be up probably 500 or 600% at this point. Probably more, actually. Pretty wild, because we bought them on a down day to top it off. Let's look at, just because I'm a masochist, let's look at what those contracts would be worth right now. Let's go back to the original idea. Let's see, Dustin was in Apple. Hannah was in Apple. Hannah was looking at a 170, 175 call debit spread back on July 20th. That thing would be worth a lot of fucking money right now. Anyway, get away from the dreams. FSLR up 0.73. We were almost at, is this an all-time high? Almost. 121.91 high of day. All-time high here, 123.13. First Solar almost there. So once again, congrats. We have a few guys in the group that are in First Solar. Made a serious attempt here before getting beaten back by the general market. All-time high. ON up 0.69. Rivian, something that I'm still in. I think Mike is still in it too, down, and it absolutely shit the bed today. At one point, my Rivian play was up 90%, and today it was down 7%, so swung all the way back to negative. Now it's back in positive, but it gave back everything in one session. Just absolutely volatile as shit, those contracts. And continue to hold. I still have time on that, but did not feel great. I'm still in Riot as well. I'm still up in Riot, even though we had a somewhat of a down day today, a doji candle. Up on Riot 77%. Mike said sub 40. He was closing his shop. This is not a great looking chart, but we are back up and over 40. So, Mike, I'm assuming you're going to hold it for another session.
Yep.
It's just an ugly chart, but yeah, I totally agree. Affirm actually had a fantastic day up until the market started to turn. Affirm was up 5.34% today at one point, up and over $40. Even though the market did start to kick itself in the ass, Affirm looks great. Mike's still in Affirm. I don't know if anybody else is in it, but that contract looks, or that trade rather, looks good. Let's go to Koifin really quick and let's look at some of the sector stuff. I know we had talked about energy and industrials last night. Energy shit the bed today. Another session with XLY up. Once again, XLY is up 24.73% quarter to date. XLK is up 19.34%. Both of these areas of the market are up today. XLI is up as well, but only minor, up 14.54%. And everything underneath XLY, XLK, and XLI is below SPY. So literally every other area of the market, stuff that is underperforming SPY quarter to date. The only name that I think looks good outside of the growth is Pepsi. And that's if you're trying to buy a slow-moving, all-time high staples name, right? So Pepsi we've talked about a lot. We got the breakout today. I don't think anybody got long on Pepsi prior to the breakout. But this is I'd like to say this is a BRB setup, but I really don't see another 0.5 RVol coming in within the last 30, 40 minutes. So we might not get a pullback tomorrow. Post the chart in chat really quick. It's an all-time high, so I don't want to discount it, but I'm also not going to chase this. It doesn't look great. IBN did not give us a pullback. I don't think anybody got in IBN. Alex and James had contracts loaded up, but I don't think it ever came back and nicked it. Let's see, IBN. Looking at the December's 24s, these things are trading at 85, and they had their bid somewhere around 75. So yeah, definitely still like this trade a lot. But the contracts actually aren't really moving that much for the movement on the actual stock. So something to continue to watch here. I'd still like to buy this on a pullback. Tesla up 3.79%. What a swing from the Qs. What a swing from the Qs. Pressing into high a day. QQEW almost up near 200-day moving average. It's not just the big boys. That's what blows my mind. That's what distinguished this rally from a bear market rally to a potential trend reversal, right? It's that breadth improvement. QQEW is coming up and testing the 200-day moving average. Plenty of evidence there to state that it's not just Apple, it's not just Microsoft, it's not just Tesla. It's the entire growth area of the market. Everything. Let's look at Amazon now that we're talking about it. Struggling underneath the 200-day moving average. XRT is up on the day 0.25. Landon and a few other people were looking at Home Depot and Lowe. Check out Lowe. Lowe's up 1.618 coming into the, or 1.16 rather, coming into its ER. Not something that we want to buy here. But that's pretty exciting to see. This stock absolutely crushed it off of the 2020 lows and is continuing to crush it up 318%-ish from the bottom of the 2020 drawdown to its peak. This is more than just a bear market rally. Low right now is up 22-23% over the last 60 days. Pretty wild. Factor analysis here really quick. IWO break even, IVW up 0.23 against SPY. So growth once again taking control. IWN and IVE both down respectively 0.21. Small cap, large cap value getting crushed. Large cap, small cap growth getting rewarded. Running through a top 5 per sector. Energy. CVX down 2. EOG down 2. Everything around 2 down. Energy. Staples. Costco's up 1.43. Coca-Cola 1.21. Procter & Gamble. Pepsi's the only one that's showing an all-time high breakout. Pepsi's the only name in the top 5 in Staples that actually has a legitimate setup. Just because we're running through this and I'm streaming, we might as well talk through a potential Pepsi play. Looking at no less than the October's. Earnings are October 4th. Pepsi play, price target 191.50. 190 call you can get right now for $132. 23 IV with a 12 IV rank, so just a straight call would be fine. If you wanted to spread this, you can buy the 190, sell the 195. Max loss of 68 for a max profit of 432. So that's a huge risk to reward. And that's it, because you're not going to be able to buy the 185 and sell the 190. There's not a 3-to-1. So that 190 contract on Pepsi for October. Lots of open interest. Go to the Januaries just to see. There's lots of open interest on the Januaries as well. But for October, lots of open interest on the 190 calls. And like I said, because of the low IV rank, and the actual price of the contract itself, only $132, you don't necessarily have to spread this. If you want to, you're going to get a huge discount, $68 for max profit of $432. Amazon is the only name in the consumer discretionary space that's actually down in the top 5, down 0.02, 0.01, hovering around break even. Home Depot slight up 0.15, Nike up, McDonald's up, and Tesla obviously up. Tesla running for a 100-day high today. Healthcare, just quick scan through the top 5 names. The only name that looks good here, and it actually does look good, is United Health. This is something that we've charted a few times, but let's talk about this really quick. If we know XLV is underperforming on the quarter-to-date chart versus everything, do we really want to be allocating capital towards a large cap healthcare name in a sector that is underperforming? Probably not. UNH doesn't look bad from a technical standpoint, but odds are if it does break out, it's either going to break out and move slower than everything else, or it's going to be a failed breakout. Let's chase where the money is flowing in, and right now it's not healthcare. Outside of biotech, I do want to caveat that biotech is absolutely been crushing it over the last 8 weeks. Materials, FCX down 3%. Nothing in materials really strikes us as something we want to own right now. There was a few chemical related names that were looking at all-time highs, but as long as materials are underperforming the broader market, there's no reason to allocate capital there. Microsoft testing the 200-day moving average. 294. Apple obviously only 5-ish% away from all-time high. Nvidia up, MasterCard up, Visa card up. Let's see here. Real estate. I know that real estate has been hot lately, but it's so hard to want to buy some of these names with such shitty charts on the left-hand side. Not something that I want to buy. But we should talk about the elephant in the room, which is utilities. XLU, as a matter of fact, I don't know if it happened today. XLU, look at this, 77.24. XLU hit an all-time high today. So XLU, the utility sector, all-time high. Top 5 names in XLU. SRE up 0.56, SO up 0.14, DUK, NEE, and D. Now, there's lots of names in utilities. It's not just the top 5. But CEG, for example, absolutely fucking crushing it off of the $67 breakout, $66.50 breakout. I don't remember who originally. I think Alex actually found this originally. But yeah, utilities are killing it right now. I'm actually going to pull it up. There's going to be a lot of crossover with PBW and TAN. 1-day returns, Dominion Energy up 2%. PEG 1.57, NRG 1.5. I'm going to go back to the 1 month chart and look at the returns. As of right now, independent power and renewable electricity companies, which are only 1.5% of XLU, have counted for 24.27% of the returns over the last month. That's huge. So independent and renewable electricity companies. We should see some of that spill over into TAN and PBW. We'll look at that next. Communications, T-Mobile, once again pressing near all-time highs. Not there yet. T-Mobile all-time highs within the next 2% though, and it has a 2.2 ADR. So realistically, we could be seeing a T-Mobile all-time high within the next 2 trading sessions. Google, interesting breakout today. Not something I want to own when there's other names out there, but Disney once again up 2.31%. This looks to be a potential COD play today. I'm not sure if we're going to get a pullback. We do have high volume 1.58. We might, if we get a pullback, here we go. Here's a potential trade idea on Disney. Quick draw so I can post it. Potential pullback opportunity tomorrow off of the 1.58 R vol. We still have 30 minutes. Disney generally gets bought up into the close, so we could probably see this thing close somewhere at 1.6, 1.75 R vol. I would expect a pullback tomorrow if we get it down towards sub 122, 120, 150. And if you do, there's an opportunity to buy Disney on a COD setup. So you'd probably want to target that 200-day moving average, which is around 130. It's going to be harder to find contracts right now on this thing because tomorrow they will reprice if you do get a pullback. So right now they're going to be incredibly expensive, and they are $400. Or you can get the 135s for 200 something, which is still kind of pricey. Get the 135 and sell the 140 called debit spread for a max loss of 99 and a max profit of 403. So you get a 4-to-1 there. Tomorrow, this is definitely going to be a tomorrow setup, though. If it doesn't pull back, just don't even mess with it. If it does pull back, there could be an opportunity to buy something up to test that 200-day moving average off a COD setup. Today's breakout.
What's the volume on that 160 call?
For October?
Yeah, very strange.
Could be a hedge, though, yeah.
I mean, $25.
Wouldn't that make sense, though? If they're going to hedge something, they'd buy super far out of the money for a black swan event sort of idea if they're short.
Yeah. But that's a lot of volume.
I mean, either way, that's good, though, right? I wasn't trying to downplay that. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
I mean, you could do this, too, if you play August. If you're looking for that move to 130, you could play this. Get a few contracts rolled in.
Yeah, okay. Either way, we're not buying it today, right? We probably want to wait for a pullback.
Yeah.
Okay, so Disney, we'll talk about this tonight during the strategy session, but tonight or tomorrow, if we get a pullback on Disney, potential entry here. We can look at it tonight on those the 160s and dive into it a little bit more. But so far, Disney tonight. Let's see what else. Marcos, just so I'm fully aware, you're completely out of UNP and UPS, or do you still have some runners?
Yeah, I just exited UMP today, the remainder.
Okay. And everything turned out all right? Profitable and everything?
Yeah.
Cool. Congrats. Honeywell up and over 200-day moving average, moving in the right direction, up 0.61. Not something we want to buy, but it is one of the largest companies within the industrial space. Financials, mixed bag here. JP Morgan up 0.3%, which was JP Morgan, I believe, was the worst performing of the major banks. Down nearly 40% from its all-time highs. It is outperforming right now, though, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. Morgan Stanley's on a fucking tear, though. Morgan Stanley's up like damn near 30% off of those lows in July rather. Interesting. Let's look at industry strength really quick. I have a sneaky feeling that we're going to see a lot of stuff in PBW and TAN because of the utilities. PBW up 41.34, but down on the day. TAN up 24.92, only up near break even today. So actually, I expect a little bit more out of both of those. Other area that does have a lot of crossover into utilities is PHO, and that's not a industry or ETF that we typically chart through because it's water resources, water resource names, and they don't move very, very much here. But we should probably look at these because if we look at the 1 month returns, we have some huge returns on PHO. Wow. Okay. Look at this. Water resources. Doomsday preppers would have a fucking field day with this. The market's pricing in water. It means that World War III is going to happen. WMS. I think somebody's been screaming about WMS in here. Look at that, all-time high, and just absolutely crushing it. I have no idea why. Somebody in here has been talking about buying WMS. I don't think anybody did. Never mind. I lied. We've been talking about WM. So yeah, advanced drainage systems. Let's see what else. XYL. Killing it, but no entry. FELE. Killing it and a potential entry. So here we go. We got post ER, post div, 2.75 ADR, mid cap. Probably Franklin Electric. Not sure if there's going to be any volume on this. Absolutely not. And we're not going to be buying a $95 stock right now. MLI. Another mid cap here, Metal Fab company. Another company that's absolutely killed it off of the 2020 lows. This company is up 300%. This was a COD setup that we missed. Pressing into all-time highs today. Speaking of weather, since you guys are talking about it, this weekend and into next weekend is going to be the coldest, like 3 or 4 days down here. And they're like blasting on the news, like make sure you're prepared and make sure you have warm clothes and blah, 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 blah. And I like checked it out and it's going to be like 47 degrees. I'm like, hell yeah. You're talking about frost? Like make sure you guys are prepared for the frost. That's what I'm saying, man. I miss it. I'm fucking tired of sitting here in this humid-ass weather 24/7. Okay. MLI, Mueller Industries. I posted the chart. Not sure. There's no setup here, but let's post it so we can look back on it later. There's no open interest on the chain either. LNN, nothing. Valmont. Another, man, these mid-cap manufacturers are going crazy. VMI, check this out. VMI's up 250. Once again, though, not something we're going to want to buy. We're charting through this stuff, and it just doesn't feel like there's any opportunities. There's not going to be any volume on the chain. I've never heard of any of these companies. Energy Recovery, what's this? ERII. Holy smokes. Here's a volatile chart. $1.33. Small cap. November's. Nope. Somebody bought a shit ton of 225 calls. Those things are up in the money now. Anyway, I feel like I'm charting through these and there's not going to be any opportunity on any of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over to FinViz. I don't even remember what it would be under. Let's see. I don't think FinViz is going to give us water names. Let's see. Regulated water, maybe? ARTNA. It's all-time high. Yeesh. This is a small cap. Yeah, no thanks. Not something I'm interested in. Up 85% off the 2020 lows. I'm just going to go ahead and scan for all of utilities right now. Since we just ran through water resources, may as well just look for anything that's hitting 50-day highs. 37 names, 50-day highs. AEP is one of those names that we did chart. We've had this charted, talked about it. AEP is potentially hitting an all-time high tomorrow. Horizontal level break essentially right here. So here we go. It's a 1.66 ADR. That's the only problem. There's no goddamn movement intraday on this thing whatsoever. But all-time high utilities name that I think when we looked it up on the chain, there was an opportunity, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go ahead and post the chart. We are testing the 2020 highs. $100 calls have a 1,000 open interest on the Novembers. Not going to want to buy those Septembers. Let's see. It's a reasonable opportunity here. Let's run a fib extension from across the entire range. 128. Yeah, I doubt that. We'd probably want to be buying next year if we're looking at 128. The 110s are the only thing that really makes sense here for AEP. 675 open interest with a 0.31 delta. CWEN mid cap all-time high breakout today. Another utilities name. November's no open interest on any out of the money stuff, so that sucks. 82 contracts open interest for the $45 calls. You can grab them for 67 bucks. 32 IV with the 27.3 IVR. $45 call. Yeah, no thanks. CNP, potential all-time high breakout in the next session or two. Look at the Novembers. This is very cheap. Why is it so cheap? 1.83 ADR. This is a large cap. Why is this so cheap? All-time high breakout would be somewhere around 33, and you can grab a $34 call for 87 bucks. You could buy a $35 call, which is a 0.27 delta is an open interest, so let's not even go over that. $34 call has 413 open interest, so it doesn't fulfill our 1K rule, but it's something to consider. We'll probably look at this tonight again. $34 call CNP, $87 bucks to get long, 34 strike, 95 days till expiration. The 33s are going to cost $1.30 with 1.87K open interest. And there's no point in spreading this. So CNP, potential opportunity utilities, has not broken out yet though. XEL, potential all-time high today, 1.8 ADR, $42 billion market cap, large cap, no volume on the day. Probably no volume on the chain. There actually is a little bit of volume on the chain. There's a lot of volume on the put side of the chain. I'm going to go ahead and skip that though because there's not enough volume on the stock. That's it for utilities. I'm just going to run a basic 50-day high scan and append all the other stuff. Over 1 million, option 1 shortable, and we're going to go change from open up. As of right now, there's 349 without the change of open up, and with it, it's 319. Very strong day. Okay. So what ended up, or what started, I guess I should say, as a pretty shitty day in the market has turned itself around, and we are now up massively. 319 names, 50-day highs with a change from open up. That's pretty big. It's a big deal. Let's see, Dustin AZO. AutoZone. This is a XRT XLY related name. $2,290 per share. Feels fantastic. I know you have a big boy account, but I didn't realize you were trying to buy $2,000 shares right now. But if you do, you know, you can buy some of these. Yeah, why not? Look, here's a great play. You can buy the $2,500 strike for October, and it's only going to run you $4,130 for one contract. Easy peasy, right? But you're right, though. I mean, it is breaking out an all-time high, so. Surprisingly good stuff. Expected a lot less out of this. Yeah, you could buy it. You could spread it. You could buy the 2,500 and sell the 2,550. It'll cost you $1,000 for a max profit of 4K. Sure, there's 4-to-1 right there if you like AutoZone. 3 shares float. No, I don't personally. I think we've already been dumping in energy. I mean, we're currently from peak to trough being middle of July, energy sold off 30%. Do you guys see the chart that JC Perret posted, and then I reposted in the chat? It's phenomenal. It's fascinating. Check this out. I'm going to pull it up on the tweeters so everyone that's watching the stream later can see what we're talking about. This chart is fascinating to me. Seriously. It goes through 6 different time frames of bull market and bear market rallies and reversals and blah, blah, blah. And you can see that after the first full year of a bull market, the second year of that bull market is essentially a distribution phase. Right? And you can see I don't want to say that this is absolutely going to happen. I don't want to say that. But what I am going to say is that if you're a technical trader, you have the underlying belief that price tends to rhyme. Doesn't always repeat, but it definitely rhymes. And his examples, I don't want to say they're hand-picked because they're not. It's not like he's showing different indexes on different time frames. He's showing the same index, same time frames, being the second year of a bull run, and it's just phenomenal to see the comparisons. I don't think it's a coincidence. You get a huge thrust year one of a bull market, and then for approximately 9 to 12 months afterwards, you get a digestion phase, and you get that distribution phase of the Wyckoff market model where people are taking profits, the market pulls back slightly. Think about it. Think of the entire market as something like an RSI where you're just in extreme overbought conditions. It's going to take time for those things to reset. And if we're talking indexes, it could take 9 to 12 months. Why not? These things sold off like crazy. Major market indexes, you look at like something like the Qs, from the peak to the trough sold off 33-34%. SPY sold off from peak to trough somewhere around 24-25%. And now, over the last 60 days, we've bounced and started a potential new trend to the upside. And I think that that is very important to think about. The Dow Jones Industrial, which is his example from peak to trough, sold off 20%. And we are now up over the last 60-ish days, 14%. This stuff matters a lot. And if this is right, what can we expect over the next 6 to 9 months? Potentially new all-time highs. It could why not? Why not? Take the bias out of it. Take the Peter Schiff out of your ear that's screaming at you that everything sucks and the world's going to end. And like they said that after 2008, 2009, didn't end. They said that after 2001, didn't end. So we have an edge in here focused on price, and as of right now, history shows that potentially the second year of a bull market is a digestion phase, and year 3 is potential all-time highs. So I think it's an important concept to, at the very minimum, be exposed to, and that would be dope for us because we're ready for it. So talking about those chemical names, ALB, potential all-time high tomorrow. God, we have so many names. Tonight's session is going to be another 45-minute fucking chart session. We have 28 pages to go through. I'm not going to go through them in 9 minutes. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to stop actually scanning right now. All this is going to be tonight. We're going to scan the entire market tonight. We have 30 fucking pages of things to go through. Most of us are already long the areas of the market we want to be long, or we are in positions that need managing relatively soon. So not going to have a huge amount of capital to continue to deploy, but Michael Burry is sold out of every position in portfolio. Only holding is 3.3 million shares. Wasn't he short in most of his stuff anyway? Your microphone is terrible.
It was short Apple against
Gotcha.
Buffett.
Yeah, Landon is a little quiet today, like sound-wise. I'm not too upset about this. I got to stop scanning. I'm going to start doing all this. I'm going to wait for tomorrow. Last thing we're going to do here is just look at factor analysis, and then I'm going to ask you guys if you have any questions. I'm going to cut the stream. Let's go to the quarter to the date. Quarter to date, IWO still in the lead. IWM up 4.38% on SPY. Small caps ruling this rally. IVE down 3.86 against SPY. Large cap energy still getting fucking smacked. Nice to see. IWO year to date is now down 6.59% against SPY. It's not, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities to see IWO come back up and potentially be positive against SPY sometime probably at the beginning of Q4. The market keeps moving the way it is. I think that's pretty reasonable to assume, actually. So, any questions? We went through ON. A bunch of you guys grabbed ON today. Excited for that position. You guys are up currently. Anybody else want to go through anything? Did you get into any positions? Are you closing any positions, etc.? Okay. All right. I'm going to end the stream and then we can talk through that. Stream. It's been